listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast. This is your host, Spencer, joined by Michael. Michael, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm just glad that I didn't spend the last 4 days camping out to watch Texas Tech currently be down 61-38 to an unranked sub-500 Big 12 team. How are you?
I was excited coming home from baseball practice tonight. Looking forward to this game. Just getting the kids ready for bed. The game lead continued to grow. It's like, okay, well, we'll get the kids settled and we'll get back into this thing. And like 12 minutes in, you'd scored 9 points.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
and 5 of those came in like the last 2 minutes of that 12. It was 4. Texas Tech had 4 points in the first 10 minutes. No, they had 6. They had 6 points, but only 2 buckets. So 2 free throws, 2 buckets in the first 10 minutes. That was kind of a sign of things to come. It has not gotten better. I don't think, initially I thought, well, obviously Warren Washington's out. He's wearing the boot. That's going to affect things, but I don't think it would affect things to this level. Texas just came in and are stronger. They're playing better on defense. They're making better decisions with the basketball. They have something that actually looks like an offense. I don't know what Tech is running, aside from just the drive and dish.
There's effort on defense, on rebounding. I mean, to Tech's credit, I mean they're in the bonus coming out of the under 12.
True.
They've got Texas at 8 fouls. I'm peeking around the laptop here. Look at the iPad here. But when you're 30 minutes into the game and you've scored 38 points, I don't think it's going to work out for you tonight, man.
Yeah, 32% shooting overall, 21%
which is an
shooting
improvement
from 3.
It was like 20%.
Yes, it's actually gone up. Turnovers are low. I mean, only 7 turnovers. There's things that have gone well, but defensively, it's been a nightmare. Texas Tech has had no answer for Disu. Asmus is playing with one good eye, and he's got 14 points with 11 minutes left, and he's 50% from 3. Weaver is shredding them. That Pauly D looking kid.
5 of his foreheads.
Yeah, it's just a nightmare. Cunningham's even on the board. He's hit a 3, couple free throws.
Grant used that timeout well. You went from down 29 to down 21.
That's true. Hey, he drew one up out of the timeout. This feels, and we'll get to a semblance of a show at some point, I'm sure, but with the game still on, it's going to be a very instant reaction. There's 11 minutes left. Tech is about to be down 63-40, but I just wanted to say this feels a lot like the Texas versus Texas Tech football game to me. It's the last meeting, kind of got your hopes up thinking, Tech's a little banged up, but maybe they could do something. Maybe.
Well, you were
especially in the football game, that's how you felt. And in this game, you felt like, well, Tech's banged up, but still, they should be able to.
Because Texas is down.
Yeah, they should be able to take this team out. They just got blown out in their last game. Texas did. I believe it was against Kansas. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I guess so did you.
Well, yeah. I mean, to an extent.
Whatever the difference was at the end of the game, in Orlando was only made smaller because EY hit a couple of threes at the end.
Yeah,
Essentially, you lost by 20
Yeah,
on Saturday.
with 15,000 of your closest friends there in attendance, just kind of felt like, well, this is maybe not a shoe-in, but it's going to be very good possibility for Tech to win. But anyway, here we are. Not only not winning, but getting absolutely demoralized in the process. 63-40 still. So luckily, no one has scored in the last minute.
They've been trading fouls.
Looks like Cunningham's about to shoot some free throws.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What else you got? You want to?
I want to talk baseball.
Okay.
But hold on. Before that, though, we missed two things. We didn't celebrate or observe our 400th episode. So go us. Cheers to us. This is episode 401.
We're just too focused, man. We couldn't even last week. We couldn't look up from prepping for
TCU.
UCF and from the TCU game and trying to figure out how soon we need to fire the pitching coach. We just had a lot of.
I've got
things.
numbies on that. I've got numbies on that for tonight.
I'm being very sarcastic, by the way, because I don't talk enough baseball. So I want people to know that I don't necessarily feel that, or not necessarily. I don't think that Josh Gardner should be fired at all.
You don't even have the right name. That's okay.
Oh, I don't? What is
Matt?
it? Matt
Gardner.
See, I knew that. Can't fire a guy you don't know. Well, I mean, some people.
Start something. Start something.
Show some emotion. Let's do it. Let's do it. This is where we're at now.
Man, get Five Head out of there. He's pushing.
Get him off of. What is
Joe
he doing?
T. I know.
Get him off our guy.
And Cunningham's waving. Oh my gosh, that's such a dick.
He's played. They mentioned tonight. The last 30 seconds of outburst was at 10:16 left, and so Cunningham.
What are you screaming at? Hold on, he's screaming at somebody. Wait, was he screaming at a ref?
Hang on, maybe he got teed up and he doesn't
Make
like
some volume here. Sorry, I've got the volume up on the iPad now.
Yeah, we're gonna get sued.
Okay.
So going out of bounds.
Oh dude, he shoulder checked him into the front row, and then he throws his arms up like, "Oh, what did I do? What did I do?" Yeah. He wasn't going for the ball.
Oh my gosh.
That dude needs to be ejected. That was.
He did. That's that would be that'd be 15 yards in football. Williams
What's the
still
X?
in bounds, or of? Yeah, he was still in bounds, man. It's 15
when the referee
yards.
When the referee puts his arms up and crosses them like that, what is that called? This
a flagrant. It's
okay,
a flagrant,
so immediately called for a flagrant.
Maybe they're determining if it's a 1 or a 2.
This is I'm a basketball savant. I can't even tell you what the calls are. There's my boy David Hoagland.
And I forget how flagrant 2s work. I think it's similar to a technical. Oh yeah, gosh, he just completely decked Williams. No wonder Williams bowed back up. Absolutely. Jeez, man. What a dirty player. Gosh, he's so easy.
And he never even acknowledged Williams. Never looked at him.
No, he was looking at the ref, wondering how he got a foul call. That's what he was focused on.
And then he was pumping up the crowd. Like what a...
Yeah, antagonizing the crowd afterwards. This is his 130... I can't even say it. 141st basketball game as a player. Oh, fans getting ejected.
He's carried out. Wow.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
I don't know.
Oh, he's close to the Texas bench.
He wasn't having it with something. Oh, this is great.
I mean, great that we have some fire, but you're down 25 with 10 to go.
Yeah.
I love all the grins and smirks on the Texas bench. And this little grad assistant, walk on, whoever it is in the background, he's egging Cunningham on, like, you're okay, dude. You did a good thing. You're awesome. You suck your dick after this game some more. Golly, I hate guys like that on the end of the bench. Like, you are nothing. You are nobody.
Well, we still don't know what's happened. Or I don't.
No, I haven't said anything yet.
They quit taking a look at the replay at least. So some decision, some consensus has been made. So, I mean, according to Stat Broadcast,
They're going to tee up Tech.
For what? Oh, he's gone. He's been ejected.
So Cunningham's gone.
So that probably means it's a flagrant 2.
Oh, and then there's a Tech against administrative technical foul against Tech for throwing debris onto the court.
Maybe that's what got the gentleman escorted.
Carried out.
Carried. Oh, there's like a mini liquor bottle. There's all sorts of stuff on the court. Okay. Way to go, guys. Good job, fans. So glad you were there for all that. That's helpful.
Shut up, Fran. You're useless piece of shit who hasn't done anything for 20 years. Shut up.
I like Fran.
How dare you? He's telling McCaslin what to do. Man.
Well, McCaslin's doing it. He's making an announcement, looks like, telling people to stop acting like children and throwing crap on the court.
Yeah, but
it's ridiculous.
Fraschilla was just a shill for whoever's winning the game right then. Like, he's such a. I don't like him.
Fran.
I don't.
I'm picking up on that. I think Fran's a great ambassador for Big 12 basketball. This is nuts, man. Yeah. There has been no basketball played in like 5 minutes.
The table where the TV broadcasters sit is still
lopsided,
like askew.
Yeah.
Like Cunningham checked Williams into that table so hard.
Absolutely.
Like
Williams was just kind of jogging that way, and then all of a sudden you see him fly onto the corner of that scorer's table and into some guy's lap. I was obvious this could be. I'm glad they booted him.
All right, I'm gonna turn this back down before Fraschilla says something else that's gonna fire me up because I couldn't care less what he has to say right now.
So, according to Stat Broadcast, it's like we thought. Cunningham was given a flagrant 2, which means he's automatically ejected, and then there will be 2 free throws coming after this, and it looks like I guess they're going to shoot the technical free throw first because it looks like there's a Texas player going to the line, which makes sense. So Asmus makes the first free throw. Tech's only down 26 and drains the second. I just our fans, they kill me sometimes. Because the refs got the right call. And then they still threw crap on the floor anyway because they didn't.
Well, they were throwing crap at Texas. They were.
Well, that's not great either. Especially when one of them's like a hotel vodka bottle.
Well, that little thing's not going to hurt anybody.
I know, but they snuck it in. That little guy? Bar. Don't worry about that little guy. It's just some empty Crystal Palace just waiting there.
If only this were a close game and this wouldn't meant anything.
Oh, if it was a close game, I think fans would have possibly come out of the stands at that point. But yeah, it's not a close game. Down 22 with less than 10 minutes to go. Although Kerwin did make a sweet 3.
But props to D5 for going after a rebound.
And Tex, you know, they're -8 in the rebound margin, which is better than I thought it would be, but also still not good. Points in the paint is almost the same. It's just Texas has been able to hit their outside shots. 26 to 22 for Tech on points in the paint. So it's just defense and not being able to defend the basket as well, despite the points in the paint's kind of not being as skewed as I thought it would be. So should we talk some baseball before all this madness happened?
Yeah, because there's not much else that's going to happen over here as this game continues to go on.
We'll keep an eye on it. We'll be like the weatherman who keeps an eye on the storm over in Dimmitt.
Paducah.
Yeah, just kind of, we know it's there.
It's brewing. The other thing, also something that passed, came and went yesterday, National Pete Weber Day. Michael, do you remember who Pete Weber is?
Once I clicked that video, I did.
Hold on. I do this every time, and I need to get the audio synced up right. Let's go sound.
Who do you think you are? I am.
You know what the best part about that is, Michael?
Every single thing. But
he's
what were you
screaming. He's screaming at a kid.
Oh, is he really? I thought he was just
he's yelling at like a young fan that was like heckling him earlier. This dude's like 65. Who do you think you are? I am.
That's right.
Screaming at like a 12-year-old boy.
Come at me, bro. And that kid went on to beat him in the PBA tour. I don't know. That's not true.
Yeah. Anyways, so that happened. I just saw it, but it was like 20 years ago. Not even 12 years ago.
I was like, I don't think it was that long ago, but you know,
February.
I am at that point where 20 years ago doesn't feel that long ago. I am there.
February 26, 20, whatever it was. So yeah, that happened. Let's do baseball first. We've been doing 18 minutes of basketball and a little bit of Pete Weber. Let's do baseball. I'm not gonna hit the button.
I thought you were going to play the intro. Okay, I was.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right,
let's do it.
Left field, well struck. Desloney picks it up on a bounce. He's racing for second. Throw out in second.
Young lifts it to right field, looking for a second home run, and he's got it into his own bullpen.
Reps and some time because all the tools are there.
Wow, this one launched deep left off the bat of Warren and into the bleachers. There he goes, and the pitch is driven deep to right. Kirstad to the wall, off the top of the fence. Here comes the big fella. Cameron Warren's going to motor home from first. Throw to third is late. And the Red Raiders have reclaimed the lead. Popped up. Trevor Gould back. It's more than a pop-up. It's a big fly. Tech takes the lead. Levick and Leavitt. Texas Tech can start packing for Omaha.
All right, Michael, packing for Omaha, yes or no, after this weekend's 68 runs? What you think?
I thought it was gratuitous. Thought it was a little excessive.
Like Brock Cunningham?
Yeah, maybe.
Like Fran Fraschilla?
I don't think Texas Tech intentionally threw the great folks from Texas Southern into the scoring table, but they did nonetheless. I just don't think there was intent there.
Yeah, and people will question like why Tadlock schedules these types of games. One of the greatest defenses is like, well, you typically do have a number of softer opponents, and it builds up into conference play. Well, Michael, conference play starts next weekend.
Yeah.
You have
it's here.
You have 2 home series. You don't have a midweek this week. So you had the 3 games this past weekend. You got 3 games coming up this upcoming weekend. And then it's conference play.
Yes. And the first 5 games were against quality opponents. I'm not going to pretend I know that much about UT Arlington's baseball program, but
they are considerably better than Texas Southern.
Absolutely. I'm just that's kind of what I was getting at. I just know that they're not a Dallas Baptist or something, but they are a very decent program. And so getting to play 5, 4 of them from the Power 5, and then UTA on top of it, getting to play those games to open the season, that's a very worthy test. And it's just like any other any other sport, the non-con, some of them are going to be not as difficult as some of the other teams Tech will play further down the road. But that said, it still was just, I was listening at work for a little bit, and I think it was 20-3 or something, and I thought, okay, that's all I can do.
Yeah, well, so you need innings, and you need time for everybody to get some time in. You did that. You did it this weekend. So you outscore the Tigers of Texas Southern 68 to 5, 9, 14. 68 to 14. Do you wish you given up fewer runs in 14 to a team like Texas Southern? Yes. But Texas Southern scored 1 in the top of the first in that first game on a triple. So you walked the first batter, leadoff batter of the game of the series. You walk him. 2 batters later, he scores on a triple. When they score again, you are up
22-1,
18-1. So it is like the game is well already over before they score again. 18-1. So they score.
I think it's 22-1.
6.
They don't score again till the 6th inning.
6. That's 18. 22. You're right. Okay, I can't do math. 22-1.
Yeah.
Before Texas Southern scores again. Okay. So yeah, you give up 4 runs in the 6th. And Hudson Luce was the pitcher there. You hate to see it, but it happens. The game's in hand. You lose focus a little bit. Whatever. Saturday. Now you've put up a bunch of runs before. You set the school record for single game runs scored. Okay, you reset it from like 97, whatever.
Yeah, and it was an interesting tidbit. So that was 30 runs, right? I believe. Yeah. And Ryan Hyatt pulled out his scorecard from when he called that game and posted that online. Just like had that handy.
Nice.
I thought that was pretty crazy to have a piece of paper from 97, just like, oh yeah, by the way, here's what that day looked like. And this day was even crazier than that one.
So I'm going to be honest. Here's my scorebook, right?
Oh, you actually, wow. It's a lot of ink.
I am not likely to have this book in 30 years. Just go ahead and put that out there. So on the Texas Tech page here, can you see that, Michael? Can you see all the ink?
Yes, I do. It's a lot of ink.
So every box that's colored in is a run scored. Typically, which like and well here, let me go back and find a normal type game.
Get a rebound.
And some of these are going to look a little bit more full because I use the very far end columns to do the post game, like, the player went 0 for 4 or 1 for 4, whatever. Let's find a game. Okay, so here's a game. This is from the Nebraska game, and this is Nebraska side, right? Like it's not that bad. There's space here, columns here, or boxes that are left empty for guys that never made it to the plate in that inning. But then we fast forward ahead. The big gaps you see here, where there are guys that didn't come to the plate, are from when the inning crossed over into 2 columns. When they batted around, and it took me a second column to finish the inning.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, so that was Friday. You win Friday. Kyle Robinson goes 5 innings, gives up 1 hit, 1 run. Like I said, it was the walk, then the triple 2 batters later. 3 walks, 8 Ks. You finished out with Hudson Luce, Trenton Parrish, Tabor Fast. Tabor Fast finally gets on the mound. I say finally. He pitched against Oregon State for an inning. He went 1 more inning against Texas Southern. So he's got 2 innings so far this year. Saturday. Well, sorry. Going back. When they scored 30 runs from 97, the next game, they lost.
Oh, no. Okay. I didn't know that. Was it the same series?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's even worse. Okay.
So Texas Tech comes back the next day, 20-4. There's no letdown here. The letdown was Texas Southern scored first again, gave up a leadoff home run.
Oh.
And it was the same batter. Yeah, Castillo. He walked, like he was the same leadoff batter for both games. He walked in game 1, hits a home run in game 2. The third batter, their DH, Lazo. Again, in his first plate appearance, he doesn't hit a triple, he hits a double. He ends up coming around to score. So there's your 2 runs in the first inning. And then the leadoff batter in the second inning gets on base, hits a single, ends up coming around to score. So they get up to a 3-0 lead, Michael. And then you score 11 unanswered. So by the time they score again in the 6th, it's gone from 3-0 to 11-3. They only score 1 more time. They score 1 in the 6th. But you add on 9 more. So Zane Petty's your starter. He goes 3 2/3, 6 hits, but 3 runs. All 3 of them earned. Ryan Free comes in for 3 1/3. So they combine those 2 for 7 innings. Free gives up 2 hits, a run, and it was earned. 2 walks and a strikeout. So 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned. Sunday, come back. Jack Washburn, in his second start of the season. I gushed about him last weekend. Comes out, has not the best start. He goes 4 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, all 4 are earned, 3 walks, but 8 strikeouts. Now, what happened again? When Texas Southern scored first, but they didn't score until the 3rd inning. They scored 2. They hit back-to-back solo home runs. There's a little bit of wheels falling off, and then Jack Washburn steadied the ship. He gave it those back-to-back home runs, then a single, then a walk. Then he strikes out the next 4. He's like, "Nah, guys, I got this. Don't you worry." Then to start the 5th, though, single, double, ground out, walk, single, sacrifice bunt. That walk was his last batter he faced. Don't look now, Michael, but Texas Tech is down by only 15.
Yes. No, I've been keeping an eye on it. Like I said, that storm's moving across the South Plains. Looks like it's hit Whit Harrell and it's heading this way. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Somebody grab. Thank you.
Oh, get a rebound. There you go. Okay. What
So
I like about this game that the baseball game, 3 pitchers, not 6, not 7 or 9, 3. That's kind of feels like a normal number to me. That feels good. I like 3.
Yeah, you went 4 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday.
And of those 3, Josh Sanders pitched 4 pitches. So
yeah, he went 2/3 of an inning on 4 pitches.
yeah, I'm just saying I like to see game 3 of a series not have to go crazy into the bullpen. And of course, consider the opponent, but I do appreciate that.
Whereas if you look at the game against Oregon State, you pitched 2,
Yeah.
4, 6, 8 guys.
8.
So you finish the game, you finish the series out 16-5. You run rule them. You score 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 7 in the fifth. You get up by 10. They score 1 in the 6th. You're like, no, guys, we're trying to end this game. You scored 2 more in the 6th to get back up by more than 10, and then you hold them scoreless in the 7th to end it. So you run rule them on Sunday to wrap up the series, 68-14. Michael, you were talking about Fire Gardner. Here's what's interesting about all that. Last season, we were like, we should fire Gardner because the bullpen is atrocious. Can I tell you that the bullpen is not atrocious this year?
Okay.
Would you believe me?
I'm listening. It's definitely by committee so far. There's a lot of bulls in that pen.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me make sure I get this math right. Walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. No, what are you doing to me? Hold on. I'm trying to do some Excel math. Hits plus walks. Yeah, okay. There we go. I was trying to finish up the stat sheet I was working on. Okay. Your starting pitchers have been so far this season: Kyle Robinson, Jack Washburn, Brady Trumbello, who I've heard may be having some kind of medical issue. So if that's the case, prayers up to that young man that he can recover quickly. Heard it may be serious, but we don't know the extent. Zane Petty, Jacob Rogers. Rogers is the outsider or the exception here. He has gone 2 2/3 innings. He's the shortest starter, and he got rocked in his start. But if you want to include Jacob Rogers' numbers, which I will for now, I'll say your starting pitchers so far through what is that? 8 games. Through 8 games have thrown 29 1/3 innings. So they're averaging about 4 innings a start. It's not good.
Yeah.
They have given up 33 hits, 24 runs, 22 of those were earned, 17 walks to 35 strikeouts. The 2-1 is not bad. You'd want to see that a little bit higher. 8 doubles, 1 triple, 4 home runs. Opponents are batting .277 against your starting pitchers and a combined ERA of 6.75. A whip of 1.7. So almost 2 guys per inning are getting on base. So I said Rogers had a hand in those numbers being kind of out of hand. If you take him out, your opponent batting average drops down to .262, so 15 points. Your ERA drops from 6.75 to 5.06, and your WHIP goes from 1.7 to 1.5. Better, but your starting pitching so far this season, ERA of greater than 5, a WHIP of 1.5, and opponents batting are greater than 250 against you. It's not great, Bob.
Yeesh.
Your bullpen, however,
Okay.
they've thrown for 32 2/3 innings. So they've thrown more innings than your starters.
Just barely though, right?
By 4 combined innings.
Oh,
So
never mind. Okay.
four innings over whatever. But that means that your bullpen is throwing more innings than your starters. Like, obviously, that's what math means. But your starters should be getting at least halfway through the game, and right now they're not. They've given up 32 hits combined, but over 32 innings, your starters have given up 33 hits over 29 innings. 11 runs as compared to your starters giving up 24. They have a greater than 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Your starting pitchers are 2-to-1. Your bullpen is 5-to-1. 36 strikeouts to 7 walks. 6 doubles, 1 triple, no home runs. They've faced more batters in their more innings. Opponents are hitting 250 off of your bullpen, so not great, but still better. ERA, Michael, 2.75.
That's
And a whip
pretty darn low.
Yeah, WHIP of 1.19. So just more than 1 batter per inning getting on base. It's not your bullpen, it's your starters.
So we're second half baseball team.
Which may be
Defensively.
why your starters are going not as many innings, because your strength is actually in your. What are you doing, Pop? That
I don't know. He almost traveled to shoot a bad 3.
somehow he has 15 points.
I think he's made some layups the second half. They haven't all been blocked out of the gym like they were the first half.
Yeah. Now, to be fair to the bullpen or maybe the starters too, this is Ryan Free, Josh. This is everybody except for 4 guys. I don't have Hudson Parker, Parker Hytera, Hudson Luce, and Isaiah Rhodes. I just talked about how Luce had given up a few runs in the game against Texas Southern. But if you look at the bullpen, you've got 2 guys right now that have been like your returners that have been like obviously the guys you're going to go to. Ryan Free, Josh Sanders. Ryan Free has thrown 6 innings, given up 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Opponents are batting 200 against him, ERA of 1.5 and a WHIP of 1. Josh Sanders, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Opponents are batting 167 against him, 1.69 ERA, a WHIP of 0.75. You like those numbers. Guys that you were on the team last year that, for whatever reason, just aren't getting the same innings. Derek Bridges and Brendan Lysick. Bridges has thrown only 1 inning, 1 2/3 of an inning. He's recorded 5 outs. 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Opponents are batting 290. Bridges has an ERA of 10.8 and a WHIP of 2.4. Now, this is a inflation by small sample size, right? An inning and 2/3.
Well, sure.
But if this is what you're going to get from him, you need to fix those. Brendan Lysick, 1 1/3. So he's gotten 4 outs, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk. 3 of his 4 outs have been strikeouts. Whereas 3 of Bridges' 5 have been strikeouts. Opponents are batting 182 against Lysick. ERA of 13.5, which is just the difference in basically the 1 out versus the 1 out between them, and a whip of 2.3. Trenton Parrish has only gotten 3 innings. Max Huffling, the ACU transfer, has only gotten 3 innings so far. Both of them have given up 4 and 6 hits combined, but only 1 run apiece. Huffling has 7 strikeouts. So of his 9 outs he's recorded, 7 have been strikeouts. Opponents are batting 400 against Huffling, ERA of 3. Trenton Parrish, batting average 333, ERA of 3. Mac Hoyer he's tied for the lead in innings pitched. No, he's tied for second innings pitched with Josh Sanders at 5 1/3. Hoyer's a freshman, the big freshman, 8 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Lost my spot. I was looking at the basketball game. Opponents are hitting 381, ERA of 338, whip of 1.5. So your bullpen's not all that bad this year. It's your starting pitching. And we've said like how good Robinson and Washburn and Petty have looked in stretches, even Trumbello in his first game.
So is this kind of a reverse of last year so far? Like you said,
Yeah, a little bit.
small sample size, but so far a little bit of a reverse.
Yeah.
Inverse, I guess I should say.
And I would expect the starting pitching to settle down too.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So the other thing I want to talk about, I think, is what's probably catching people's attention. Gavin Cash did not play or start for 2 games this weekend. I don't know why. Maybe it's Tadlock trying to give him a look from the bench and trying to resettle after his start. Because coming into the weekend, I can't give you what it was before this week because he did, like I said, he did play on Saturday. And how'd he do on Saturday? Cash went 2 for 5 on Saturday, so not terrible, not bad. Scored 2 runs, drove in 2. On the season, Gavin Cash is hitting 185. It's not good. He's had a terrible start to his season. 4 runs, 5 hits. 2 of those hits have been home runs, though. 7 RBI, 11 total bases. So you got to see a little bit of Landon Stripling come in and start 2 of those 3 games this weekend at first base. Stripling still early in the season with 15 plate appearances to Gavin Cash's 27, so about half. Stripling is batting .533. He scored 5 runs. He has 8 hits, so he has more hits than Cash does and half as many at bats. Tied him in home runs, tied him in RBI, and more total bases. So we know what Cash has, but the young true freshman who may be getting some playing time while Cash may be trying to figure something out, he's going to make Cash really, really work hard to get back in the lineup.
That's good. Competition is welcome and healthy.
Okay, so I glance back over the game for a second. What is the rule on hanging on the rim?
I think supposedly if there's a chance you could hurt yourself if you let go or someone beneath you, you can hang on to it. Why didn't you just shoot that, Pop? You're under the basket.
Is Dessou wearing number 1?
Oh, let me confirm.
whoever number one is for the Longhorns
Yes.
had that dunk that when broke the pressure there in the half court defense. Oh, that's an ugly shot. Why would you do us like that?
Ooh. ESPN, come on, guys. Yeah, they showed
They
the
showed an
crowd.
empty arena.
Yeah, well, the lack of crowd right now. But in
okay, so
the fans' defense, Tech have not been in this game since about 5 minutes into it starting, and is currently down 81-65 with 41 seconds left.
anyways, so Dessou, with no one around him, dunks the ball, and then one-handed does like a 270 on the rim before he decides to let go and come down.
Well,
Like I get there's a minute to go, but
Yeah.
like you're there to enforce the rules.
I think that also, people are leaving early before the smoke hits. I'm not trying to make light of this. I just saw that the National Weather Service, there's a lot of fires up north around Pampa and other parts of Texas, up our neighbors up to the north, and apparently that cold front is bringing the smoke here, and visibility could be pretty rough for for 30 minutes or so, I think is what they said.
Goodness.
I haven't looked outside, so I don't know.
Anyways, so this weekend, so you set the single game run record. I believe you set the 3-game series run record at 68. Hard to imagine you didn't, since you scored 36 more runs over 2 games. We talked about the stats so far. Offensively, there are some surprises. I would say like Damian Bravo is leading your team in batting average as an everyday starter. Like he's started all 8 games and been your left fielder. Batting .531, leads the team for those that have all eligible stats. Asmus, what the heck are you doing, man? He just took a 3 from the logo.
Why not? They
Well,
talked they talked a lot of the first 10 minutes about how much of a slump he's been in. Well, he ended with 18 points tonight. So I think he's cured. We're okay now. Happy for him. So Texas Tech final score loses 81-69 at home in front of a sold-out United Supermarkets arena. And they were never in it. I think that's kind of fair to say. There was one, you know what? Let me go back to the scoring, because in the first period,
you weren't within 12 except for when they went down 12 the first time.
Well,
in the first half.
after Tech chose not to score for the first 10 minutes, they did come roaring back a little bit.
It was a conscious decision.
14, 17. No, actually, no, I'm wrong. It was just, it's pretty much been over since it was 6-4 with 16:30 left. I don't think they got closer. And with that, back to you, Spencer.
Damian Bravo leading the team in OPS, 1465. 531 from the plate, slugging .875 with only 1 home run, 8 doubles, 1 home run. So dude is just getting on base. 17 hits and 32 at bats. Austin Green, TJ Pompey, true freshman shortstop TJ Pompey. He started and played in all 8 games. He's batting .441. Owen Washburn has started and played in and started 7 games, .423. Kevin Bazell hitting .400. Gage Harrelson feels a little bit more up and down, but he's batting .333 right now. Cade McGee Unfortunately, his batting average is 238, but it feels like he's been really productive. His on base percentage, Michael, is 500. He has where
Dude
is
just
it?
gets on the bag, man.
He has 9 walks and 4 hit by pitches. So he's been put on base 13 times.
Who was it last year that who got on base a lot, or the last couple seasons getting hit?
Was last year? I think it would have been
It's
your left
effective.
fielder, who was the transfer from Wofford. What's his name?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you.
Why am
I
I
just
blanking
remember
on his
that
name?
happened. That he had like almost
back
a
in the book.
record. It was a pretty good stat. It's a pretty effective strategy if you've got the gumption to take it.
23. Here we go. Hester, Nolan Hester. Anywho's, Tracer Lopez also having a little bit of a slump to start the season, batting 154, but he's played and started all 8 games at second base. Has shown some power. He almost got he had 1 home run in Arlington, almost had another one. On base of 378, slugging 346. Whereas, like I said, Cade McGee is on base 500. Guys that have also played quite a bit that you've seen, like I said, Landon Stripling, Dylan Maxey, Davis Rivers has been in a couple games. Drew Woodcox has 6 games under his belt. 4 games under his belt. Travis Sanders has made it into 3 games. Will Burns has made it into 3 games. Garrett Bames made it into 1. That was over Friday night game. So offensively, the entire team misses everybody, including Cash and Lopez. You're batting 376. You've hit 14 home runs so far. You've scored 104 runs, which, whatever that math is, so you averaging more than 12 runs a game right now. Giving up 5. So that will continue. That streak will continue because you're hosting Gardner Webb this weekend. Not a great baseball team. Will undoubtedly hurt your RPI, but whatever. Like you said, you need games. The next week you get 1 against New Mexico, and then you're back home for Texas Friday, Saturday, Sunday, March 8th, 9th, and 10th. Of a little bit of baseball that we've talked about, Michael, or that you've seen, are there any standouts or surprises? It's okay if you haven't. You've been all in basketball right now.
I have been all in basketball. I haven't gotten to watch a baseball game yet.
So
I've listened to good chunks of 2 or 3 of them, but I would say my biggest surprise is a negative one, is the starting pitching and Cash's struggles at the plate. Those are my biggest surprises, and I hate to be the negative guy. So not like a certain player or anything. And actually, you know what? The kid that came in relief in the first game.
Hold up, let me get it for you. It's a good thing about this book.
I liked his intensity. I really appreciated the heck out of that.
Well, which one? So Robinson started. Then you got Bridges, Rhodes, Lysick, Sanders, Rogers, Parker.
Oh gosh,
You sure it was the first game?
One. I think so. He was a really animated guy. Maybe it was against Nebraska or something.
No, I think you're thinking of Mac Hoyer.
That makes sense.
Who was the big guy, the freshman though? Unless you mean Huffling on Sunday versus Oregon. I think so. Huffling threw 3 innings on that first opening weekend Sunday. 6 hits, but 7 strikeouts, and he was super emotional. And I don't think Hoyer was that over the top. So maybe you're thinking about Huffling, your brother from Abilene.
Oh, what school did he go to?
He went to ACU.
Oh, he's a Wildcat. I didn't know if you meant high school.
No.
Okay.
I don't know where he's actually from. Anyways, so for me, I'd probably agree with you on the starting pitching. Like that's a surprise and the negative. But then like the emergence of Damian Bravo, and TJ Pompey, both defensively and offensively, right? Like they've started and played in all 8 games so far. And they're both hitting over 400. I mean, Bravo's over 500. Green has been like just do it all. Like he's been DH. He's been out in right field. So yeah, that's what I would say. I may be going to a game or 2 this weekend. We'll see how it works out if we can get the family out there. I have tickets.
Good deal.
From our sponsorship dollars. Will fund me a ticket every now and then. So maybe going on Friday, I think. But anything else on basketball, Michael? I feel like we kind of probably a little over the top with instant reaction as it was happening. Our criticisms of our friend Fraschilla or the bench coaches or whoever that guy was that was all hyping up Brock Cunningham after he had a flagrant 2 and got ejected for it.
You know, I the only comments I had were Tech has, even with this roster, 2 winnable games on the schedule, but they're on the road, and so that's going to be problematic. They're at 9-19 West Virginia on Saturday. Of course, West Virginia's a team that you can't count out. They keep beating people. They only lost by 4 on the road against K-State yesterday. And then Tech will go to Stillwater next Tuesday. So you'll get to suffer through another instant reaction pod, those of you listening. But the game's at 7, so there won't be as much left when we hit record. So anyway, Oklahoma State 4-10 in conference. They just lost a close one to OU. You can't overlook anybody in this league, especially on the road. But those are some good games to end on before hosting Baylor for the final regular season game of the year on the 9th. So I'm not losing hope at all on the NCAA tournament chances. I think that's still there. And something I wanted to bring up, something we haven't talked about at all this year yet, but it's just now relevant. So, but preseason, Spencer and I made predictions based off of projected win totals that were handed down. And Tech has hit the over on projected win totals for the season. They had a projection of 18.8.
Mm-hmm.
And they have won 19. Spencer took the over. I took the under on that. And then conference win totals, which still games to be played, 9.4 wins to 8.6 losses. And as of tonight, they are 8-7. So they're kind of where we thought they would be, possibly higher than we thought they would be. My mantra this whole time going into this season was I just want them to finish in the top half of the league. And they're right there. So let's all remember we said those things.
Yeah, well, you were
a while back and I seemed pretty happy with myself. You know, if Tech just finishes in that top half, that's about the best we can ask for this season.
Like I don't
we're there.
I don't want to like reset expectations and then look back and say this season was a disappointment or a failure. You were at one point tied for first in the conference, and it wasn't like, oh, you're 1-0, you're tied for first. You've been around the top third, 3-4 teams in the conference a couple of times. which is a surprise, right? Especially when you were picked to finish about 900, about 500. I was looking
That's
at the
really
9
good.
wins. And you may finish right there at 9-9, which is, I would say, acceptable. Like that type of resume, a blind resume would probably get you into the NCAA tournament, which we said was going to be a success in McCaslin's first year, given that the roster coming together, we had so many questions, and we still do, right? Like if it wasn't for Warren Washington, like where would we be? Well, I think we're seeing it.
Well, and Cambridge being out
Yeah.
after
And
2 games, or if it was even that.
and then the up and down performance that you've gotten
Yeah.
from your guards.
Yes.
No depth with your big men. So yeah, I mean, like, if you look at preseason, and we said, like, I took the over at 18-10, which I guess was 19-10 basically. You're there. You've got a couple more shots to get, to 20 wins, to get to 10 conference wins. I think is doable. You may need Warren Washington back and healthy again. You may need some heroics from your guards, at least some consistency. If we can figure out how to just not go 8 minutes without scoring a point, like I understand teams go on runs, but like if it could be like a 22-6 run instead of a
Jeez.
18-2.
I guess that's net negative though.
It's still pretty bad, but like
It's the
if
same. You end up in the exact same spot you were.
that was bad math. Okay.
You could go on an 18-2 run and also go on a 22-6 run in the same stretch.
Yeah, you could. My point is, like, if
Get a stop. How about
this-
get a stop?
get a stop, or just sprinkling some more points, man. Like, I can simultaneously appreciate and absolutely hate that this team can fight back from so many points down. You were down by 30 and finished this game down by 12. Let's not get that down by 30. Let's like level out some of these waves a little bit. Let's not go on such long scoring drives. Let's not have to fight back from 10 or 12 points down late to win some of these games.
Yeah, don't go into halftime doubled up.
Yeah, like, okay, good. You've shown us that you can do it. That's admirable. That it's possible. But also let's not make it necessary. And I'm not saying you win every game. Like that's not what I'm saying. Like, well, if you score more points, you're gonna win every game. I understand. Like, you can still have the same record, but I'd feel a lot better about it, or I'd be bitching about something completely different. Let's be honest. You can't finish close games. There's no killer instinct. Blah, blah, blah. I'd find something else.
Gotta keep your foot on their throats.
Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah, absolutely we would. That's how it works.
But, anyways,
that was all I had. That was my little pep talk of
okay.
Expectations versus results versus couple of winnable games, despite them being road games coming up. And hey, just real quick, would love to see a Lady Raider win tomorrow. It's been a while, guys. They have lost 7 in a row. They're currently 5-11 in Big 12 Conference. They're 12th out of 14, including a pretty bad loss to the 14th place team. So cheer on the Lady Raiders tomorrow at TCU, 6:30 p.m. Got to break the streak and try to finish strong on these last 2 games.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it for me for basketball. I'm basketballed out. It's round ball rocked my way out of here.
Yeah. Well, it's baseball season, man.
That's true. That's a good.
Let's wrap this thing up with what we learned, and then get y'all out of here. What do you say?
Works for me.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either.
All right. I just got the alert from the wife. Bad fires. I guess mainly Canadian. Fire declarations issued for 60 counties.
Oh my gosh.
Wind switched from the west to the north. Now I can really smell the smoke. Air quality is going to be very bad. I worry about our oldest who has breathing issues. So that's something to be thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I made carne asada tonight for dinner. And it was fan-freaking-tastic, if I do say so myself. Little chuck roast, cubed up, browned in a pot, and then made the stew, and then stewed it for a couple hours. Had that right before baseball practice. Grayson had his first baseball practice tonight. Team's got a long way to go. Just put it that way. The positive, one of his really good friends from school ended up transferring schools a couple years ago, is on this team, so he's really excited about that.
Oh, that's great.
But he's really good. A couple other players from our former team that we really like to play with are on this team. It feels like maybe there isn't like the top end talent that I've had on other teams, but also like the bottom is a lot higher than it has been on other teams. So like it's a pretty consistently decent team, which is saying something.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Grayson said he had a sore leg, like he slept on it wrong, and like he was, I don't know, he was hobbling around all practice. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, this is your first practice, and this is the impression you're giving your coaches. It looks like you're not trying. You're just loafing around. I was like, dude, you're better than some kids on this team, but like if you continue to play like this, you will sit the bench. Which means nothing to him. He's never had to sit the bench because they've played everybody.
Yeah. He's like, I'll believe it when I see it, Pops.
I was like,
that's what he tells
trust me, they will play 9 kids, and if you're kid number 10, you will get to watch the game. Anyways,
it's cool. It's cool, Pops.
But that was just practice number 1. And supposedly his leg was sore. I don't know if he slept on it wrong or growing pains or something. But so yeah, Little League baseball started up in earnest for us. We got practice again on Thursday and Saturday, and games coming out of spring break. So we're hitting it hard in carne asada. If you've got a couple hours, well, the prep time probably took me about 30 minutes. But then the cook time was about 2 hours. Granted, an hour and a half of it was it doing its own thing on the stove on simmer. So if you ever want to, if you find yourself ordering carne asada at the restaurant, like, man, I like that. It's not really all that hard to make. You do it yourself. It's pretty good.
I will have to remember that.
Meat Church has a great recipe.
Oh, they do for everything.
Just about everything. All right, you got anything, Michael?
I'm at a loss.
You've learned all you can learn.
This could be the first time I've ever just absolutely blanked and had nothing. No, I don't. I didn't learn anything. I have no words. So thank you, everyone. I do think I smell smoke right now. I don't think I'm making it up though. Do
Yeah.
you smell smoke? I don't know if it's
maybe.
It could be like. It could be a placebo effect, or I don't have a good word for that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Someone's like, my leg hurts, and then you start thinking, yeah, maybe my leg hurts too.
It's like, yeah.
I've been
I
reading
think
about
I
the
need to go
smoke
home
rolling
now,
in.
too.
Yeah, I've been reading the smoke roll in, so I kind of think Oh, you're nauseous? Yeah, you know what? I've been kind of nauseous. Anyway,
I'm feeling that right now too, huh?
pretty
I
crazy
guess
weather
so.
up north. Hope everybody's safe, especially if you're listening up here and you're up north or have family who are in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
I remember
Samantha
when the
said,
fires hit. What was it, 2017 or 2018 or so? I read it just flat out made me cry. I read an article in Texas Monthly. It was rough about some guys who lost their lives trying to save cattle or just
I remember
trying to
that.
get out of there. So it just makes me think to that same time. I don't know what they're facing up there, but I know it was
Well,
really bad then.
She said, I don't know where she found this, 250,000 acres so far
Jeez.
in 28 hours. They said it's about 2 football fields per second. That's just unfathomable how fast that's moving.
It's
So
something you probably don't think about too much. Think about your local linemen when they're called out for stuff like this, because they're going to be called out, and so they're putting their lives at risk along with a lot of other folks. Anyway, that's what I learned. That's what I learned is fire's scary, especially up in the Panhandle when you've got wind like we had today.
that'll do it for us. 23 Personnel Podcast. Y'all take it easy. Stay safe out there. We will be back next time for another episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast, getting you ready for the next basketball letdown. Just kidding, instant reaction. We'll recap the Gardner Webb series, let you know how that was, taking the family out with that. But that'll do it for us. For Michael, I'm Spencer. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23 Personnel, Spencer at PuntSuck, and Michael at Michael_LBK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.